We now focus on the India-China relationship. They've decided to resume the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra during Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri's Beijing visit, where the Foreign Secretary met Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing. And he said that India and China should seize the opportunity, meet each other halfway. India and China should meet each other halfway and commit themselves to mutual understanding rather than mutual suspicion. That's what the Chinese readout said after the meeting that took place where Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is on a two-day visit for talks. Remember, there's been a bit of a thaw, but the issue related to trust remains. This is the second such high-profile visit from India to China in less than 1.5 months. As I said, a certain thawing of relations has taken place, but questions and suspicion remain, and so does the issue regarding the border dispute as well. Remember, it all started in 2020 with the Galwan dispute. Some progress has been made. What does this mean for the India-China relationship? Let's get in Gunjan Singh, who is an associate professor at the OP Jindal University, and we also have Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar to decode this for us. Thank you so much, both of you. And Ambassador Sajjanhar, let me start with you, sir. How do you see the positives that have come in terms of resumption of direct flights as well as Kailash Mansarovar Yatra?
Yes, thank you very much, Gaurie. As you said, it is positives. It is an important step, but it's a small step. And also the point that you raised about the trust, I think trust will be very long in coming. So we have to move very slowly. We have to, take these baby steps to begin with. We are trying to get back to the relationship as it existed in April 2020, because we've got the status quo ante in terms of patrolling of our troops on the forward areas. We have more or less got the disengagement done. But after that, there is the whole process of de-escalation and the troops moving back so that there is peace and tranquility on the border. So it's a long way. And as again, you very rightly said, there was no discussion, there's no mention of the border. Border issue still is outstanding, and that will take a long time. So I think as far as trust is concerned, that is not a word I would like to use as far as relations with China are concerned.
Okay.
It will take a long time.
Gunjan Singh, you want to come in there in terms of how do you see the India-China relationship? One step forward?
Yes, I think that has been the basic term used or adjective used. It's one step forward, but there's always been two steps backwards. In this sense, we can see it as a one step forward. As Mr. Sajjanhar also said, these are baby steps. These things have been in discussion for a long time. April 2020, things have derailed since then. The talks on resumption of direct flights, the Mansarovar Yatra, the sharing of hydrological data, all these.
No, but this also builds into the people-to-people ties, really, Gunjan. This builds into the people-to-people ties. Efforts are being made to sort of, try and put them in separate compartments, which is one is the trade part, second is the people-to-people, and third is the border dispute, which remains a thorny issue, isn't it?
Yes, and there's been no mention of the border. So it seems like border management is the way forward as of now, rather than actually looking for a border discussion or solution or any kind of border boundary issue or the talks of actually trying to resolve the border issue. The management of the border dispute has been going on since October last year. There's been de-escalation. However, there's been no major push beyond that. The armies are still there. The situation is still ongoing, and patrolling agreements have been under the process.
Right.
But even during this visit, there's been no discussion or any kind of de-induction of the troops per se.
Ambassador Sajjanhar, quickly, the fact that people-to-people ties are being restored, do you think that's an important aspect of rebuilding some of the trust in the relationship? Quickly.
Gaurie, this is the demand that has been from the Indian side, and that's why we have insisted that this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra should be restored. And it was the Chinese demand that, there should be these direct flights also taking place. So I agree with you that, this is the whole idea, this was the whole intention. Coming to the border, we have said as far as the special representatives are concerned, We had the visit of Mr. Doval to Beijing, and he met his counterpart also, Wang Yi, there. So, there were some initial discussions on the border issue. So I think border will be separately dealt with by the special representatives, as was decided by the two leaders when they met in Kazan in October.
We are
But
bifurcating the issues is the whole point. Both of you stay with me because I want to address another issue which involves India, China, and that is the Maldives issue. Stay with me. Viewers, India is now also reassessing its financial support to the Maldives after the island nation finally put the FTA with China into motion. It was signed about 7 years back, but it's come into effect now. And this comes just a month after India pledged financial aid to keep the Maldives practically afloat. Everybody says it's actually India's aid that has really rescued Maldives right now. But what does this mean in the wake of the Maldives-China FTA, and where does this take the India-Maldives relationship is a question that I'm going to put to our guests. But let me also play out the big questions that we are asking on this. The first question is that will India revoke Maldives aid over the China FTA? The second question that we are going to ask to our panelists is that fresh friction. Remember, it's been a very testy relationship between India and the Maldives, and will this add to the friction between the two sides? The other key question that we are putting out is how will India regain influence over this region, something that it's been competing with China over. Let's get in both Ambassador Sajjanhar and Gunjan back with me. Gunjan, you want to come in there in terms of the India-Maldives relationship back and forth. Mohammad Muizzu came to India, he's got a rescue package, but well, he's also going around shopping for the best deal in the market, isn't he?
Yes, and India did play a key role in almost helping bail out Maldives. I think in October, almost $760 million were committed. Cash exchange were leased out. India also helped Maldives start trading in Indian currency. However, the FTA talks with China were, I think, on since 2018 or before that, and they've announced that the FTA is now is resumed, and Maldives have signed an FTA, which definitely puts India-Maldives relations a little bit again on a frosty issue. The relationship had started in a very adverse way, I should say, and then things did improve. Maldives did seem to India works, or the diplomatic maneuverings did work.
Yes.
Maldives-India relations were seen as moving moving upscale at least. But we also know that Foreign Minister Wang Yi did visit Maldives last month, and
Yes.
it seems that that would have been some indication that China was keen.
Before I get in, Ambassador
FTA.
Sajjanhar as well, let me quickly tell our viewers why this is important. The India-Maldives trade relationship, and then we also talked about the Maldives-China relationship. The trade between the two sides, that is India and Maldives, has grown from about $126 million in 2010 to about $485 million in 2022. As far as the China-Maldives relationship is concerned, that has grown from about less than 60 million. Remember, they were half of India in 2010 to about $562 million, a little more than India. So it's not like that China has completely come and overtaken the Maldives trade relationship, and India doesn't have a skin in the game, Ambassador Sajjanhar, which is why it's so important that what should be India's next moves will really determine its influence in the region.
Yeah, you're right, Gaurie. You asked three questions. So, if you permit, I will,
Sure.
if I remember them correctly, I will respond to them. Number one, you said, will India revoke its aid to the Maldives as a result of this FTA? No, I don't think it will. Will it have a very significant adverse impact as far as India-Maldives relations? We will have a conversation with Maldives, but we are not going to sort of, in any way rock the boat. Our position has always been, Gaurie, that our neighboring countries, and they will try to get the best deal. And if they are getting the best deal as far as trade is concerned, as long as it does not impinge on my core security concerns, I don't have much of a problem. What I need to do is I need to focus on my own strengths. and I have huge strengths as far as Maldives is concerned because
Yes.
it's my neighbor. There are imperatives of, interdependency between neighboring countries, and Maldives tried a great deal. It tried to go to Turkey, it tried to go to Singapore, it tried to go to UAE. Nothing succeeded. Nothing will succeed. India is the only country, whether it is for trade, whether it is for medical tourism, or many of the other aspects that Maldives needs. So I think India needs to nurture this relationship, which we are going to. We will, of course, keep a very close eye as far as what China is doing in our neighborhood. Let's face it, I think even as far as Bangladesh is concerned, during Sheikh Hasina's time, it had very close ties, even defense ties with China. So I know where, India recognizes where our strengths are, and we will continue to focus on that. We are not going to be sort of, deterred by any of these issues. We'll keep a close watch, but that's about it for the time being.
Indeed. Thanks much, Gunjan Singh and Ambassador Sajjanhar, for really breaking that down. And it's not just Maldives, it's Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Maldives, all put together, where we need to ensure that the trade and the economic relationship continues to stay balanced and in our favor. Thank you so much.